not maybe above average. And you know, it is a difficult decision, but so far they've pushed for bigger and bigger numbers. And
but I think if you probably spoke to the vast majority of citizens, I suspect they'd prefer more officers than for them to get extra salary.
They may want more officers, but when you continue, if in a given field, if you're always at the lower end of the pay, you know, it falls into job satisfaction and can I ever get a promotion and all, and there's a lot of things that come into it.
The low end of their pay is it 28,000?
Start is around 28, 29.
Which I would argue in this area at this point in time in the economy, I would think that people would be glad to be employed.
Well, you know, certainly there have been some changes in dollars that are available in the private sector also, and you know, I want our deputies that are out there defending and dealing with bad people. You know, I certainly want to support them getting a higher wage per hour, but that is impossible to do if the head of that organization just wants to have more and more and more deputies. There's only so much money to go around. And we've seen in 07 a reduction, 08 a reduction, 09 a reduction. The experts are saying now that the complete recovery may be another 3 years away. So it's certainly the trend of dollars coming in property tax dollars is not going to go up anytime soon.
Right.
And that is certainly a concern that I've had a long time. You know, look, I'm just a guy that doesn't know anything. Ask anybody. But I do want to point out that I tried to stop the train wreck in 2002, and you know, I got, you know, they thumbed their nose at me. Thanks for stopping by. You know, I don't want to see any organization does not need to get in the rut of let's hire a bunch of people and then we're going to have to fire a bunch of people.
Well, and see, if it were me, what I would suggest the solution would be to hire the bunch of people, cut the exorbitant salaries that they have in every government organization in this area at the top. I'd say some of these salaries, I'd say 20% for the top third to top 2/5. Cut them by 20%. And then recycle that money, and I'd say, you know, put as many out there as you can, because that keeps people employed.
Right.
Minimum salary or not, it's better than just having that money go to an inflated upper management who are generally desk jockeys to begin with.
Well, one of the things, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm not talking about just Santa Rosa County. It can be a private business, it can be a government entity, it doesn't matter. In the beginning, there will be a lot of worker bees and limited management. And there will be a lot of resources for the worker bees to work with. And over time, management increases, and there's less worker bees, and then there's more management. And then at a certain point in time, management will give themselves stock options, big salaries, and go to private islands for vacations.
Right.
And all of the stuff that we've seen at the federal level, the banking industry, you know, our top management, we'd never make it without top management. The bottom line is, and if you don't understand this by now, let me make it clear, ladies and gentlemen, I support the blue-collar worker in our society. Our blue-collar workers are the ones that get the job done. Management, in most cases, are the ones that put the stumbling blocks out that keep us from getting our job done. Honest to goodness, most organizations would do better with just somebody to keep track to make sure everybody comes to work every day.
Yeah.
But the blue collars where the work gets done. But that management trend that we have more and more managers, then the next thing that falls in, not only do we have too many managers, but we're constantly hiring consultants to help us figure out what we should do.
Right. You have to spread the wealth a little bit there, too.
And where we're at today in Santa Rosa County is we are crushed under the weight of the salary burden, and we're left with very little for the needs of the people.
I absolutely agree with that.
Now, some of our elected and appointed people. And matter of fact, it was said at one of the budget hearings, well, we're mainly a service organization. Well, Santa Rosa County is mainly a service organization, but you still need money for asphalt and new trucks and parts and pieces and all that kind of
and
stuff.
people to drive the trucks and spread the
People to
asphalt.
drive the trucks,
Yes.
the blue collar workers. That it is, you know, my belief in America. The blue collar workers are the ones that get it done. You take more of their resources, they get to the point they don't even have a shovel to work with. Forget about shovel
Yeah.
ready. They don't even have a shovel to even try it with.
Because management needs a bonus.
Yeah, well, you know, and that's a constant.
Well, I will tell you this: the IN Weekly, the independent newspaper in Pensacola, and it's at www.inweekly.net.
Right.
As you know, they ran a list of all the salaries in Santa Rosa County that
Right.
fall under the BOCC a couple of years ago, and it's still actually on their website if you go to their website. And I was really in shock when I saw, I would say, the top 2/5.
Right.
I mean, there's almost a cutoff point where you have the lower level employees, and then all of a sudden there's this ballooning effect, and you literally have, what would you say, 40, 50 employees who are making in excess of
60 and above.
60
yeah.
and above, $1,000. I mean, that are over there, and I'm sure they're nice people. I'm sure they're wonderful people, but you know, we're told, well, we have to pay this person $80,000 a year because we need to attract talent
Right.
to this, you know, which is ridiculous
Now,
in this area.
ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you why I was smiling so big as my TV partner, Green Party member, was saying that. When Deborah and I first met, she would argue with me constantly that everything is okay in the salary stuff, and she is, as you can see,
Well-
she's coming to my side.
Well, yeah, but let me talk to that because I came from the federal service. I worked
Right.
in the federal service, and some of the positions, and I'm talking about the Santa Rosa Board of Commissioners jobs over there, they're actually making more money than a federal service worker would make in that same type of responsibility.
Well,
and this is an area where, again, the median salary in this area is about $24,000, and they need to pay people with I would say middling responsibilities. They need to pay those people $50,000, $60,000, $80,000 a year plus benefits.
I mean, I think it, and look,
That's excessive.
And it's not just Santa Rosa County; it's across the board, ladies and gentlemen. If you watch the
it's
national
gonna be in
news,
Pensacola just as bad.
if you watch California, the benefits, the salaries, the bonuses, in 10 states as we speak today,
Yeah.
is crushing
Sure.
the economy.
Sure.
And I just, and look, and one of the reasons that I've been on this mission since 1991 about spending is the very place that we're at today, where we're going to look people in the eyes and tell them, you no longer work for Santa Rosa County. We can't afford to pay you
Well,
anymore.
here's the sad thing: is if they went in there to that, I'd say top 2/5, and they just gave them a salary cut across the board to bring those salaries more in line with
With the private sector.
reality.
Right.
With reality,
Yeah.
they could afford to bring those people back that they had to lay off, and they'd all still be making a whole lot more money than the average Burger King or McDonald's or
Right.
Walmart
Oh, I agree
employee
with
would
you.
be making.
Well, I think we've covered that, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, what the sheriff has asked is that he has saved $1.5 million in the current budget year, and kind of what's on the table right now is, let me keep the $1.5 million